Guys, it's your girl T, and I want to go ahead and shout out Devin Brown. Devin Brown sent me this crazy story, and it's coming from Alabama. What's going on in Alabama is that we have a pastor. His name is Juan McFarland. He's a pastor at Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church. So this past weekend, Juan decided to get up in front of his entire congregation, and he decides to announce to everyone there at the congregation that he contracted HIV in 2003 and that he's had full-blown AIDS since 2008, and he wanted the congregation to keep him in prayer. But then he starts confessing other shit. He then goes on to say that he's also slept with many of the women there in the congregation in the church, and that he's exposed them to HIV. So this has been causing a firestorm on the internet. This whole situation is a mess. Go ahead and check out this news clip, and I will come back with the rest of my comments.
Juan Demetrius McFarland did not hold back when he revealed to worshipers at Shiloh Baptist Church on September 14th that he contracted HIV in 2003 and discovered in 2008 he had AIDS.
The church was very accepting of Reverend McFarland. They were willing to help him in any way possible.
But once the pastor with 23 years of leadership started revealing more and more on the following Sundays, members and leaders say they realized McFarland had crossed the line. In a resolution read aloud at church, leaders shared and Pastor McFarland confirmed to us he admitted drug use, mishandling church funds, and what members say was the ultimate shocker, described by church deacon Nathan Williams Jr.
He concealed from the congregation of the church that he had knowingly engaged in adultery in the church building with female members of Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church while knowing the having AIDS.
This past Sunday, McFarland was removed as church pastor. Still, church members say some congregation members are afraid to come forward, and many are concerned.
Who does this to people? And you're the leader. Who does this? I know a lady who is a member of the church who said she had slept with him and that she didn't want this to go public. And, she's running out now trying to find out, if there's anything wrong with her. And my heart goes out to her because she's been a wonderful, wonderful member of the church.
Deacon Williams says in his 70 years at the church, this is the biggest scandal the church has ever experienced. Williams says leaders have obtained legal counsel and is now focused on moving the church forward.
Our move is going to come directly from the council. We want peace, and we want to do the right thing legally. We're not looking to hurt him. We're looking to get the church back. That's our thing, to get the church back. That's what we want to get the church back. That's it.
But some members say they want justice.
I believe that he should be put on court and let the judge decide if he should go to jail or not.
Alright, so you guys just watched that disturbing news clip. I mean, this whole situation is just sick. First of all, how are you going to spread the word of God, but then you're out here spreading HIV, which is a deadly disease? Basically, you're using your dick as an attempted murder weapon. I feel like maybe he confessed all this and confessed all his sins because he knows he's dying, or maybe he's really sick, or like his T cells got really low and he may die in like 6 months. I mean, this is just insane to me that this man knowingly knew that he had HIV/AIDS. He's known since 2003, and he's been screwing half the church. But with that being said, I also have to hold some of the members accountable as well. I don't understand all the whoring that goes on in church. And then a lot of church people love to act like they're just so holier than thou, and I'm a virgin, and I didn't have sex till I got married, and blah, blah, blah. But yet and still, this pastor was chopping down not one, but many of the women in the church. They weren't even having sex at the hotel. They weren't having sex at his house. He was sleeping with them in the church. So that says a lot about the women. Now they're all embarrassed, and now they're scared, and they're running to go get HIV tests. And it's like, this makes no sense. Why would you allow anybody, I don't give a damn if he's a pastor or somebody down the street, that you're not in a committed relationship with, because Lord knows you can be in a committed relationship and somebody can still bring you something back. But it's obvious that none of these women were his wives. You know, it's obvious that these women were all, you know, side pieces, jump offs, you know, possible girlfriends, but nobody was in a committed relationship with this man, yet and still no one was using any protection. He was raw dogging a lot of these women. You know, this is just sick. And then these same women were probably going back to their husbands, their boyfriends, and this is how diseases like HIV and everything else spreads. Because folks are creeping, they're doing what they shouldn't be doing, and then they go back home and spread the shit to their partner or, you know, whoever else they're sleeping with. If they're not in a committed relationship, they may have several partners. You know, this is just really, really sad. This man needs to be in jail for attempted murder. It's not okay. You know, everybody at the church is trying to make excuses. Well, no sin is bigger than another sin. I'm sorry, that's bullshit. You know, what he did was all the way wrong. It was not okay, and I don't understand why people are making excuses for him because he's a pastor. When the gay guy in Messy, Missouri was out here having sex with all types of people, he slept with over 30 men. You know what I'm saying? He gave them, some of them, HIV. Nobody made any excuses for him. His ass got thrown in the clink. But yet and still, this pastor still has not been arrested. Folks are even having the nerve to defend him online, you know what I'm saying, and say, well, you know what, he's repented, he's told his sins. It doesn't make it okay. He knew he had a deadly disease, and instead of being honest with these women, he chose to still have sex with them. But like I said, the women bear a part of the responsibility as well, because they allowed this man to sleep with them, have sex with them raw, in the middle of the church, you know, so it's like, where's the respect? You know, supposedly you guys are in God's house, but then you guys are also here in the same breath having a freak fest in the church. I mean, the whole situation is just really, really disturbing. And the fact that there's so many women right now who are at risk, who have slept with this man, it's like, this is just crazy to me. That's why I always say that folks need to be aware of false prophets and not put everybody on some pedestal just because they're a pastor, a reverend, a bishop, a rabbi. That means nothing. There are plenty of wolves in sheep's clothing, point blank period, and this man is a prime example of that. He is disgusting. His ass needs to be locked up. So anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire disturbing story that's coming from Alabama. All right, deuces.